cool. Okay. Yeah, wow, the UPS guy could not have picked a better time. It was like exactly 8:30 when they rang my doorbell, so I had to go down and open the door. So, thanks all of you guys for being here. Yeah, we were late by like a minute and a half, I think. Anyway, I want to talk about this weird problem that I've been having. Oh, so let me know how the audio is. I think it should be working. Yep, this is totally amateur hour. Yeah, so basically we've had this problem recently where if I have sort of this is what's called, so I've got this object, it's called an interlockable. I won't go into the details of it right now. Hey Quizzical131, how's it going? Alright, so... Alright, let's see. Okay, so... I'm not going to go into details with this right now, but basically I would have this object attached as a child, the line manager, and then when I go to close... So this is my sandbox level, it's called Game Field Redux. And when I go to close this and try to open it up again, Unity is going to crash. Okay, never mind. That time it didn't crash, but it was crashing for a while. That's weird. That actually thing's gone missing entirely. Oh no, wait. Okay, so actually my prefabs, those prefabs aren't even there because I reverted back to an older revision that's been version controlled. So. Alright, but let's put this one here. It works with this too. Let's get this line manager and put it inside this object called signal start base. And I'm going to save the scene, and I'm going to close Unity and open it up again. And I'm pretty sure that is going to crash. Tomater, yes, here for the glitches. It's like watching a car crash, a train wreck. It's not the fun kind, though. It's more the really annoying, painful kind. Yes, see? Okay, see, there we go. So that was... So yeah, all I did was I put the line manager inside as a child of that other signal base object. And there isn't anything fancy going on in the code. So this kind of started happening last night. I was up until 4 a.m. working on this, and then we were working on it all day. So one way to open that scene again is first what I have to do is delete everything inside the Unity library folder. Alright, first let me close this. Yes, continue. So then delete everything inside the library folder, and that's going to allow me to open up Unity again, so I can look around at the scene. And I'm gonna take out the line manager. I'm gonna remove it from the hierarchy. And it is going to crash. But the problem is it keeps having to go through this importing process, which is just a huge pain in the ass when it comes to debugging, because it just causes a lot of wait time. And so basically the reason how I nailed it down to that line manager thing was I was going through my kind of history of revisions, and I was able to kind of see what was being done. Yeah, so eventually I couldn't find, right, okay, so this is the other really annoying thing, which is this API update screen doesn't come up, how do I say this, it doesn't show up at, like, on top of it, so if you know what I mean, it kind of gets hidden away, so like all you do is you just see it get stuck on here, and you don't realize you gotta go and like click no thanks. I don't want to update it. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of try to pull up the log file. Well, first of all, where is... I need to find a way to view hidden files in Windows 7. Alright, appearances and personalization. Show hidden files, yes. Alright, so locals, username, local, Unity, editor. Okay, so this is the editor log. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure how this is supposed to be helpful for me reading this. There's an easier way to do. Hey, Jutz1TN. Let me catch up on some of these. We're seeing the tower world in an earlier stream, but how are the puzzles connected to the game? Is each room going to have a puzzle? Each room is going to have puzzles, and then sometimes the puzzles will be entire worlds. So it's sort of a mix. There's kind of a spectrum of them. That is for Ryan Frenchman's question. Let's see. Oh, the view button in the Explorer lets me do that. All right. So yeah, I couldn't really figure out. So Chris, the programmer, the gameplay programmer I've been working with, told me that it has. So yeah, you can see it's still like importing small assets and stuff. That it has to do with the singleton script. So yeah, like I'm not too sure how you can make sense of what's going on here. So we did eventually kind of decide that it's due to the singleton object, and which I'll talk about in just a bit once I can open up Unity again. Oh, Justin, that's it. Okay, I always have a really hard time reading people's usernames in Twitch. The giant tower was a puzzle. Yeah, it is. It's not. I do have hub worlds that access other puzzle worlds, but the hub worlds are also parts of puzzles. It's like there's sort of there's all these different layers of puzzles. So there are puzzles that are just in a room, you know, and you need it's very obviously a puzzle. You got to get these cubes to certain places in order for the door to open, and then there are kind of, you know, there might be this meta puzzle to the entire world where you got to connect different rooms and kind of see what's going on. But then there are also puzzles that require multiple worlds where you got to go from one world to another and make connections between all of that. I'm not too sure how I can pronounce Roku the Slayer wrong. So, alright, we are almost done. So basically all of today was just spent doing that. It was like we would try to put, okay, now it comes back to here. So, alright, once this loads up. Oh yeah, so okay, any arrows would be near the bottom. Yeah, I'm just not sure how, like, in this giant file, I mean, there must be thousands of lines, how you are supposed to figure out what went wrong. So this is the editor log, by the way, which Unity outputs, I think, when your game crashes. And you can send this to them for reporting bugs. But I'm just not too sure how this can be helpful. I think Chris was able to get something out of it. But anyway, so all of today was spent, like, kind of randomly setting up, you know, just like, okay, well, maybe if I took this one. No, so remember, so what we did was we put this line manager as a child of signal base, and that caused the crash. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out, so it's no longer a child of signal base. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to close it, and then, but then Unity is going to open fine again. So this scene isn't going to open on crash. You'll see. It is a hello, Vasper. Yes, it is a heck of a log file. We originally thought it was a Unity bug, but we decided that it is a code bug with the singleton, which I will talk about now. Crystal Azil, hello. Look for the word exception. Cannot find exception. Or maybe, well, we should look up. Okay, the reuniter does have one problem. Oh, I didn't control also has another, but nope. The other thing is, I thought about updating to, I'm on Unity 5.0.2, and I thought about updating to Unity 5.1.2, but there is this other problem, which is with, okay, so I love ProBuilder, but in updating to Unity 5.1, you're going to have to get the new ProBuilder package, because otherwise you have these like weird text being written in the middle of your screen. Okay, so you don't want to just pull the ProBuilder update from the asset store. You don't just want to import that. You actually have to go through this thing called use the ProBuilder upgrade kit, which they put out, and it's great. It works. It's this package, and you want to. But here's what you have to do. So you import this package into your project, and then you got to go inside each scene of your project and run, you know, prepare scene, right? I have, like, these are the scenes I have right now. So I've got kind of color beam puzzles, I've got test scenes, I've got game scenes. So this is, I think, like 30 scenes right here. So I'd have to go through each one of those. And I just did it as a quick test, and I think one took like 10 minutes for the prepare scene. Then you got to delete the ProBuilder folder inside the game, import new ProBuilder version, and then go through every senior project and then run reattach ProBuilder scripts. So it's got to take away the ProBuilder scripts and reattach them. The problem is when it reattaches them, I just did this as a test, is it doesn't keep the vertex coloring, which I really do need. So this is the vertex coloring for those of you who are new. Basically what you can do is select this piece and then color it. And I use that a lot so I can kind of tell the difference between two pieces that are adjacent. So anyway, that didn't work. So I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for, I think David, he's on vacation right now. He's the other programmer who's been working on the game, doing more optimization editor tools. And what I'm going to do is just have him look at the Pro Builder upgrade thing and see if there's something he can do to make it a lot easier. So try error. So up. Has anyone played Her Story yet? I feel like this is Her Story. This is C#. I mean, I'm programming in C#. Right now I'm not programming. Right now I'm just trying to debug this weird thing. So see, it's in Control, which is the controller plugin that I'm using that can handle all the different controllers that are plugged in. So would I be searching for I/O exception? Okay, well, I'll tell you guys what we think the problem is. But we basically, so Chris thinks that it is due to this one singleton called Relativity Utils. And there are a number of problems with this thing. Well, first of all, one is that there's two of them in the scene right now. Okay, yeah, you can see there's two of them, which there shouldn't be two of them. That's another problem, but could be affected. So basically, what Relativity Utils does is it's this one single source that controls the color for everything in the game. So these are the wall colors. So instead of like making adjustments in every scene or changing the color of every button, basically everything just looks at Relativity Utils and gets their color assignment from there. So you can see I have all the color for the walls, all the color for the cubes, the color for the buttons, for the lines. There are the emission colors of the lines. And so what it does is it lets me make, it's like one single place that lets me make all the changes, which will also be helpful later on when you want kind of settings for people with color blindness to make adjustments. So, I'm not sure I get your joke, Vivasser. So, anyway, the thing is, so I'm not too familiar with it. This is something that Chris implemented, but so first of all, I don't want there to be two of them in the scene. But I think it's what it does is it checks to see if Relativity Utils doesn't exist a scene, then it will create it. And if not, then I think it just leaves it there. So it's an extension. So I guess this class is an extension of the singleton behavior. Now what I know this is, I think this is the culprit, because what I did before the stream was that I uncommented out everything referencing Relativity Utils, which is a ton of stuff. It's like it's in the tree script, it's in the cube script, it's in the line script, in the wall changing script, in the interlockable script, and that allowed me to have things have that hierarchy without the game breaking. So what I kind of wanted to do in this stream is sort of take a look at this issue and see what would be what is the problem. Now I do so because I think it has to be this singleton too, because a lot of that stuff happens on awake. So I think a good example of where it is being used is, for example, this is the script controlling the double gravity cube, and you can see it gets its opposite gravity direction from Relativity Utils. It gets the color of the second gravity from Relativity Utils as well. how much force should be applied is, or at least which direction it's being applied. Its gravity should be applied. That's from gravity utils. Let's see what else. Right, every time the active colors are from gravity utils, the inactive colors are from gravity. So basically, this is kind of how it's used. Everything looks at it to get the colors, and a lot of that stuff is assigned on awake. And I think that's where what makes it a singleton. I think it's that it should only have. You don't see any control instances. Just a second. It is here. It is in the singleton behavior code. So call this to upgrade the singleton to a persistent singleton. Right? So this would be the instance. Oh, okay. So Jet User says it's not a true singleton. Even if you're extending it, you're still misusing it. Like, really, all I know is that we think this relativity utils is the problem. And I think what I might do is not make it a singleton. What I think I'd like to do in this stream is we'll just make it this game object that everything has to call. A true singleton is only accessed through its instance property. Okay, so I am bypassing the singleton pattern. I guess, like, when I say singleton, I don't really mean like I'm not actually I don't think this thing needs to be a singleton. What I actually want to do is just fix the bug that is causing the scene to crash. And I think one thing I want to do is remove the singleton. Probably shouldn't extend from mono behavior. Okay. Well, I think if I don't actually want it to be the singleton, right? Because my understanding of singleton is like it's this one object that is gonna stay throughout the entire game. So, for example, maybe something like Game Manager would make sense. If I want a single point of control, I need to prevent callers from creating instances. Right. Well, I think for now what I want to do is get rid of the singleton aspect of it and just have it be this object in the scene. It's a prefab, and if it's not there, then maybe you just get you know, things are missing reference, but otherwise everything is just talking to that. Okay, static class. Right, well, what I'm going to do is make it I'm just going to make this a normal object for now. If it's just containing information, it doesn't even need to be congruent, just an object, probably a static class instead. Okay, so do you guys think then the best thing to do right now would just be to, like, just make it a mono behavior thing and then go through these pieces and get rid of the instance element? Okay, based on what you're seeing, I'm actually calling methods in the class. Am I calling methods in the class? I don't think there are any methods in it, right? I think all I'm doing is it's just a bunch of values that I'm storing. Oh, there is an onValidate thing, which is this is something that's being called. Okay, yeah. Okay. Whew. This is... Alright, this is gonna be... If anything, I think these sessions of public humiliation in which I show how little I know about programming, perhaps the best thing is that it inspires other people to make games, because then they're just like, well, if he can do it, clearly he has no idea what he's doing. So, like, I'm thinking if I can just get rid of this instance. Like, okay, here's the problem is I don't actually fully understand what the script is doing. Okay, let me get rid of a whole bunch of this stuff. Relativity utils and Alright, so this is relativity utils. I don't actually want to use that. Yeah. If QCode is static as well, then it should be fine. Keep in mind, if you make the class static, all the members need to be... You don't need to extend from mono behavior if you want to have the built-in functionality of update, start, awake. Otherwise, you can just have normal classes with constructors. I see. So I don't even... Oh! I might... Okay, I might use awake for something. So let's just leave that there. Okay, I see. Thanks for that, Spherical Penguin. Alright. So let's say I want to... So in this case, okay, we just switch it to mono behavior, and I want to look at the cube colors for this. So... Let's, in double gravity cube, would I guess I would just do something like this, then. See, an object reference is required for the non-static method. Oh, because it doesn't know, I think it's because it doesn't know what relativity utils is. Oh, that must be it, right? Because nowhere do I tell it what relativity utils is. Or it should be at the very top where that is assigned. Oh, I see. So maybe I gotta do something like, okay, I can make everything static in my class. Right, so I think the problem right now is that it doesn't, like, would I want to do something like this first? I just want to do the simplest thing to get rid of this instance thing. Static class. Okay. Why would I need a... Oh, I see. If it's static, I can just call it. Hey, Zuriel was taken. Do I have any tips for a complete beginner? Start small. And don't make anything really big. Otherwise, you end up in a situation like mine. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Like here. Is this what the static class is? Okay, so now we've made relativity utils static, and now all members have to be declared static, which most of them are, and all methods. Okay, I see. So let's, yeah, I guess I can always, well, thankfully everything is version controlled. So if I totally screw everything up, we can always go back. Okay, so all the okay, got it. Now all members have to be declared static, and all the methods. Okay. There's a lot of stuff here. So I'm also not sure if this is really the best way to kind of organize the colors. Certainly does seem to make sense to have everything in one place. Void static. Oh, it's because do I need to put static here since this isn't public? All right. Static is always before the return type. Got it. All right, so we've put static on everything, and now this is a static class, which just to, okay, static class basically the same as non-static class, but there's one difference. Static class cannot be instantiated. In other words, you cannot use the new keyword to create a variable of the class type. Because there is no instance variable, you access the members of a static class by using the class name itself. For example, if you have a static class that is named utility class that has a public method named method A, you call the method as shown in the following example. I see. So, okay, got it. So I don't need to instantiate it, right? Which is kind of what I was starting to do with I believe that was double gravity cubes. Right? No, we were doing it in this one. So I didn't actually need to do this, right? So that means that I don't need instance. Aha, okay. So now, why was oh, I see. Okay, don't make it public unless you need to. It can still be private. Yep, okay. Now, I guess, Jet user, what's the difference then between using static and a singleton, like with the instance thing? Like, I guess I'm saying, why use a singleton if I can do static? I'm using static classes for something similar to this, a tag system for a collision manager in AS3. Ah, okay. So like you want to use so in this case something like relativity utils, which is kind of this single object reference point. A singleton doesn't mean it persists for the lifetime of an application. It just ensures there's only one single instance at any given time. Okay, so now I'm remembering I had a singleton for the so I had a singleton for so wait a minute then. Right. Okay, in this case, I probably do want relativity utils and game manager and rigid body controller, which is the player. In this case, I would actually want all three of them to be singletons, right? Because the problem is that all of those, I have them in every single scene. because like when I'm working Unity, I'm opening scenes up separately, but in the game, I'm planning to have them all be loaded additively. And when you load a scene, it's just going to put all the game objects in there. And I remember in a much earlier version when I had additive scene loading working. Now this one I don't, because I'm not quite there yet. But I remember I made rigid body controller, the player object, a singleton, because I didn't want, when you load it, you know, if you're in level A and then I additively load level B, that scene is going to come with its own rigid body controller. And I made sure, so I made the player a singleton so that you wouldn't get two of them. Yes, the player is going to hold state information. But actually, right now, the player isn't even a singleton, so I think that's probably something we will... Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. So, in which case, so the relativity utils is not, it doesn't need, okay, so the player should be a singleton, but it sounds like maybe relativity utils doesn't need to be a singleton right now, because it's not holding state information. That's different. Oh, so I think I'm going to put on a little bit of music. Maybe... what's his name? FTL. Just to have in the background. It's good coding music. Alright, utils classes are very static because you pass in anything you need to process. Oh, okay, I see. But, okay, but Jet User, if I, okay, and David Kilmer too, but, because if I'm doing additive loading, and then every scene is going to have its own relativity utils, which are all the same, right? Is there another way then to just not have duplicate relativity utils when scenes are being loaded additively, and just have... Would I want to switch to using a singleton then, or is the static class fine? And well, yeah, in the meantime I will continue to... Yay. Oh, I see. So static classes must derive from object. This is something that I'm... Oh, wait a minute, okay. Awake, start. Okay, so it seems like you don't actually want to, you can't extend a static class from model behavior. I don't know how you can force Unity to make sure there's only one in your scene, but at runtime there would only be one. Well, one is not an instance, but there's one place you go for it. Okay. Spherical Penguin, I'm not actually sure what you mean by it being a component. So the way it's being used is I have all the colors and I need them here in this inspector, right? Because then everything is looking at all these values, everything is looking at relativity utils and getting... So, like, I can change all the line colors at once. I mean, some of the problems is also that I'm not trying to, like, write the final code for everything right now. Get rid of the static on the class, but add this private relativity utils. Alright, Jet user, why is that your suggestion? I do not think your suggestion worked. Well, okay. First of all, oh, and the constructor in the class. Where is the constructor? Okay, I see. Oh, okay. Got it. So, Jet user is suggesting this. And then I do this. So... Jet user says doing this ensures that nothing will get created. I think I should have a... Is this what you mean? Alright. Yeah, FTL music is kind of the best for... Got it. For coding. Okay, I do need the braces. And this is... Alright. I guess I could just do search and find and then, but... C# freaks you out with the methods with no parameters. Does it? Don't all of these have to have them too? Like this method has that as well, no? Alright. So we will do all this and then see if it fixes the problem. Yeah, I'm really not the best programmer, so for me it's like, okay, if I can just get it working enough that I can continue designing levels, then that's good enough for me. Oops. Unity is component-based, transform, rigid body, collider. Everything on a game object is a component. I see. It's a really cool way to program, but it's also a scenario that goes the route of if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. You can still use traditional design patterns that don't need to be components. Components are game object parts. Oh, I see. Relativity utils doesn't come across as something. Got it, got it. I see. I see. I do have delegates as well. Yeah, you know, because I'm like a self-taught programmer, and this is... You know, I did a bit of C++ programming with open frameworks for about 6 months prior to starting this project. But everything I've done has sort of... I guess this is what now I kind of know what people mean when they talk about, sort of Unity forcing you to do things the Unity way, and I think Spherical Penguin's point of relativity utils not being this component, but it's sort of just, we just like hijacked it so that we can kind of do the thing with the rest of the game. And definitely just getting it so that the scene isn't crashing so that I can design puzzles is going to be the goal right now. As much as I would love to have really clean code and this thing doing exactly what it's doing, there's also kind of the issue of everything being a work in progress all of the time. Right, okay, where is this guy's... Like, everything uses relativity utils. Maybe this is one argument for not doing it that way. Okay. These are the calling patterns. I'm just saying that for stuff to try and head off as much spaghetti code in the future as possible. I've been there and it's not fun. Right. Yeah. Ryoku the Slayer, what little yellow thing are you talking about? Oh, I see. Right. I knew that. I just, oh, is this what you're talking about? That's just for letting me know there are notifications. This is by far... This might be the boringest stream so far. Okay, so our gravity direction gizmo, so draws from this instance, so... Game object name, reference runtime script, and scene file. Fixing. I just have no idea what the fuck this is. Oh, where is my... I think relativity utils just... Wait a minute. So now it says it can't load the script. And I'm wondering if it's... You know what, I'm gonna... Hold on, I'm not gonna worry about that right now. We are going back to saying that it's static. Fuck. Okay, now it's working. So, I guess to go back to Jet user's question or point earlier, I guess Unity doesn't let you do that. Okay. I guess you guys are all... Alright, rebuild, rebuild. Yeah. Rebuild solution. Three succeeded, 0 failed, 0 skipped. Alright, well, that's not... Alright, so let's save this. I'm gonna save it and close it. And see if this... What the fuck? Wasn't this working before? So why is all of a sudden this not letting me... Hey, Red Garlic, how's it going? We were just trying to debug this sort of weird... No. So, Luna Wolf Studio, I'm... Okay. No, I was thinking of doing something, but apparently, unfortunately, that our plans have been delayed, postponed. So that's... Sorry, Luna Wolf Studio. Nothing is happening, except my project being broken. But go back to non-static class but private constructor. But I thought that's what we had before, and then it wouldn't let me do that. So okay, let's do non-static, and then do the private relativity utils. That is still not working. Oh, no, wait. You were right. Okay, so that is working. What the heck? I think it works and then it, like, then it stops working. Oh, extended from behavior again. Oh, I see. Well, now it's here, but it's not showing me any of those colors, which I think is kind of weird. Right, so this is also not what I want, because I want... Is Visual Studio better than the built-in program on Unity? I'm assuming you are talking about Mono Develop, and I would say yes. It won't like having a CTOR if you are extending from Mono again. Spherical Penguin, I'm not sure what you mean by CTOR. Yeah, I would recommend switching over to Visual Studio. Oh, constructor. Oh, I see. Well, what if I just took away the constructor? Because I don't really need to worry about it not having what? Why is it not letting me see all my color variables? Okay, so relativity utils can't be static. Alright, so let's just not, let's leave it, but I can make all members static. So does that mean, okay, so since relativity utils cannot be static, does that mean then I have to go back to basically all the cases where we called, I'd have to go back to every single place where we got rid of instance and fix it again? Like, right, because we were, like, doesn't not declaring relativity utils, I thought that depended, no, I don't, okay. I thought that depended on it being static. I can still call it by the class name. Right, so I guess then the only thing is why isn't relativity utils letting me see all that weird stuff? If the member is static, you call it in a static manner. Alright. Restart the editor. Oh, it's got you stumped. Well, I am at the very least learning a lot, so that is good. Thank you, Jet User. I actually did try turning off my computer earlier in the day and turning it back on. I would have been really upset if that had actually fixed it. Come on! Okay, so you are not showing up. Restart Unity 3D. I already did, sort of. I mean, I did close Unity and open it up again, so that doesn't seem to be working. But what if I was like public float test value? Wouldn't this work? What the fuck? Oh, do static things just not show up in the... Maybe static things just don't show up in the... Ah, fuck. Okay, so I think maybe static, I would need to do like a serialized field. Hello? Does Unity, are you listening? Sometimes the editor doesn't respond. What? Alright, so maybe there's a problem with static. Static things don't show in the inspector. Ah! Why not? Those properties were all instances before. Well, so previously, I'm not too sure what your answer... Take the cartridge out, blow on it for 5 seconds. Maybe 20 years ago that would have worked. I'm not too sure, Jet User, what your question is. Were those properties all instances before? They were all... Yeah, all of them were like, it would be like this one were all like relativity utils dot instance. Hey, Cyflux. So... it wasn't so much that we weren't using a singleton, it was just that there was... Were they non-static before? Some of the stuff was non-static before. I think we just went over and then added, right? Previously it was extending from this class, singleton behavior, and then when we went to relativity utils, I did add a bunch of things. I'm actually not sure which ones are statics and which ones aren't. We did add static to a whole bunch of them. So actually, I would assume, since we were able to see them in the inspector, and Ryoku the Slayer says that And then Spherical Penguin says you can't make a static... Well, I guess both of them. Components always use instances, and therefore a game object can't have a static class as a component. Okay, so... What if we just try to fix whatever problem we were having with the singleton issue before? Okay. So, in this case, I think what I'm going to do is revert back to what we had before. I will... yeah, Jet user, I will send you an email. Chris might have fixed some of it, because he just said it was a problem with the singleton kind of before he took off for the day. Yes. Alright, so I am going to revert everything. Well, at the very least, we have learned a lot about Unity and static classes. So... I am going to revert back to a previous revision. Okay, this is a problem with how Unity is implemented. Yes, yeah, Jet user has done this a few times. This is pretty regular. When I want single instances of stuff, I personally help, but I don't know what we're trying to actually achieve here. Well, it's more just that I'm not too sure what the bug is. Except, well, so the problem is that when we put the line manager object as a child of something else, it results in the scene crashing. And that's the problem. And then basically, I just want it to not crash so that I can work on the design of everything. We've kind of traced the problem down to this one thing, this one script, Relativity utils, which is this one game object that stores a bunch of color values and other values that all these other game objects then reference. So it's like if I change, yeah, I mean, I think you've seen it. Basically, if I change the color on the Relativity utils, then the line colors get updated. And all I know is that, well, I think that's the source of the problem. So basically, we're just trying to get it to a point where it's not going to cause the scene to crash when I open it. So that's it's like I'm not too, like, whether it's a singleton or a static isn't too important to me, and it does seem like we should be doing singleton, because as it turns out, we basically spend all this time and it's like static isn't going to work because we can't see it in the inspector. So it looks like we're going back to singleton. Remove all the static methods I had there before into a static class and leave only fields properties to help. Okay. Melisson, yeah, this bug. The biggest problem with this bug is that it just takes so freaking long to cycle, because every time it crashes, I have to go to the library folder and delete everything there and restart Unity, and then it takes like 10 minutes to import everything. So, alright, so Jet user is suggesting I go back to the singleton I was using, remove all the static methods I had there before into a static class, and leave only fields properties in your Relativity utils class. I don't think there were that many methods, actually. In fact, I don't think there were any static methods. I think it was just fields and properties. I mean, my guess is it's some of the stuff that it's doing at the on awake, right? Because that's probably what's causing the scene to crash at the start. You could just make a single static reference to the main utils class, which can still be mono behavior. Then as long as you only have one of the utils per game, the static reference will stay the same. That's something I do. I don't know how efficient it is. Single static reference to the main utils class. I see. Okay. By the way, while we're waiting for this get revision progress, if any of you are enjoying the stream, this is well, normally there's a lot more level design, and that's really the stuff that I'm good at. But yeah, there's a fair bit of programming and bug hunting, and so if you like that, then you should follow this channel. Why does the singleton class you have extend mono behavior? Any reason for this? Does it extend mono behavior? I'm actually not sure. I actually do not know the answer to your question, Jet user, because no, but yeah, I think people randomly suggesting things to change without actually understanding the root of the problem isn't solving anything, but I'm not really too sure. I mean, part of it is I had nothing else to show on the stream, so I thought we'd try to tackle this. It probably was not the most efficient way to be dealing with this problem, but I wasn't getting anywhere before. Okay, it looks like the base singleton class came straight from the Unity wiki. Alright, well, I think I've reverted back to the previous scene, the previous version, so I think all our code is back. Alright, so Ryoku the Slayer's suggestion is, so just to clarify, you're saying that I would have I have a single static reference to the main utils class, which can still be a mono behavior. Then as long as I only have one of the utils per game, the static reference will stay the same. So is that static reference in the public static? Alright, hold on. I see. Alright, so we're back to an earlier version, and yeah, everything is back to the Okay, yeah, we're back to... So yeah, see, we... Okay, so these were not... Right, so we had a few things that were static. Basically everything that I was able to actually edit. So mostly the color values, they were not static. Right? So everything that I wanted to actually edit are not static. Unvalidate, that means... that's basically when you change stuff inside the Unity inspector. You want to check length. So yeah, it looks like all the methods are not static. Right, this is the gravity direction, which again doesn't change. Oh, I do have one static method. Okay. Make the constructor of relativity utils protected. So we've reverted back to this, and you're saying I should do like protected relativity utils. Oh, I see. Got it. Well, I might just do that tomorrow and have Chris take a look at this. Don't get latest. I'm just stealing what Jet User wrote and making that the comment. It's fine to have static methods inside of a non-static class. You just can't have non-static methods inside of a static class because there's no way to get an instance to call them. Right. Right, okay, yeah. Now I understand that. So... Oh, right, and I also do have this duplicate here. Okay, let me... Alright, so... What Ryoku the Slayer's suggestion, just quickly, while his battery hasn't died, is that I would... I'm not actually totally sure what you are saying. Well, why don't we just try what he's suggesting and see if that works. But you were saying like void main. This? Ah, I see. He's saying no a variable. So you're saying instead of like inside here where it actually calls it, I would do... Oh, it's a reference to the class. Oh, I see. Okay, so you're saying I would do... what the fuck? Alright, how can I have a static class I can access from any place in my game? I see. Oh, so you're saying something like this with... Oh, I see, I see, I see. Got it, okay, okay. Oh, right, of course, with the... Oh, and you're saying then I would do... The wrong class? Oh. Okay, got it. So I want to do it here, is what everyone is saying. Okay, thank you, Ryoku the Slayer. Thank you for your help. So is this, I'm guessing, so this is what he's saying. Okay, just like that, and then I don't need to do anything else with the other things. Got it, got it. Okay, now... Alright, thanks for your help again. Alright, so, well... I mean, by working we just mean that it's not going to crash the scene. So hold on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close this, I'm going to open it again. And, let's just kind of see what happens. So the scene should open. Oh, I see. You'll need to access the class. Oh, right. Okay. That's... Okay, so basically every time, if you have like, or if your script doesn't compile, then what happens is they all... like, you can't use your previous layout. And I believe what Ryoku the Slayer was saying was now instead of instance, I basically have to replace every instance of instance with main. So actually, why don't I just edit, find and replace. Instance replace with main. Replace and next, replace and next. Yeah. Fuck. Yes, I should just call it instance, so instead of main. That's actually an excellent idea. Thank you, Vassar. the fuck? I think it's because I try to change. Oh, extended from mono behavior, not singleton. Ah, okay, so see, there's this problem, which I see occasionally. There's some stuff with my editor, so I think what we need to first do is change this so that it extends from well, that was a valiant effort, but I think I think this is a good opportunity to no reference where it's a race condition. Oh, instance is not being created in time for the usages. Alright, so then I think okay, so we're not creating. Alright. Well, I think it's almost 10 p.m., so I think I'm just gonna call it a night. I guess we did learn a lot. I'm gonna revert back to the last version that was saved, but huge thanks to all of you who were on the stream tonight helping me with this problem. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have it fixed. Alright, so the singleton I was using earlier should work. You'd be surprised if that was causing the crash. Alright. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is... what I am going to do is create an isolated scene with just the line manager and the interlockable. Because the other thing we were discussing was maybe that was just a problem. I don't know, maybe the prefab or the scene file got corrupted. I have no idea. So, but we are going to go back to where we started at the beginning. So, but thank you all again for your help. Normally it's the stream, there's a lot more visual stuff in the stream, but... Whew, okay, we're back to where we were before, and I think what I'm going to do now is just create a separate scene that doesn't have any of this other stuff to see if it's the problem with the line manager and the interlockable. And hopefully this is all fixed by tomorrow. Cool, so... Thank you all, and I will see you tomorrow.